What's important to the actor is that you bring yourself 100% to the work, so that we experience when we watch you on screen what I call the pop. So we don't see an actor trying to be a role. The actor is the role. So I don't really love the word character because I feel like it keeps what you're doing away from you. And what makes your work unique is you bringing yourself 110% to the role. It takes commitment, it takes honesty, and it takes a lot of dedication.
Hello, I'm Andy Valadez, Chief Marketing Officer for the Entrepreneur Broadcasting Company. You're watching the Entrepreneur Channel. Today we're with Mykle McCoslin. She is an actress. She's also a leader within the film industry with SAG-AFTRA. So Mykle, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you for being a part of this interview. I really appreciate you taking the time to chat with us about your career and what we have planned with Joanna Sanchez. But before we get into all that, will you kind of just give us, everyone that's watching, a little bit about your background and how you got into acting and what you love about what you do?
Sure. So I feel like I started acting when I was 5 years old. My grandmother took me to see the movie Grease, and after I saw it, I knew that whatever they were doing is what I wanted to do, and I would perform for my aunts and uncles on the living room coffee table and get 25 cents.
Okay.
So, to me, that was the start of my career. I knew that I wanted to be an entertainer, and so I, was in acting in junior high, and eventually moved from Houston to California. I went to USC and got my degree in theater there, and just slowly started to work as an actor in Los Angeles, and I got involved with different programs there and continued my education. And so that's basically kind of how I got started. But the journey will take you where it takes you, and sometimes you think things are going to happen in one place or with one genre, but God and the universe has other things in store for you. I never imagined moving back to Houston, but actually being back has helped me tremendously. I mean, I've worked more being a regional actor than I ever did living in LA and New York, which I did. So it's exciting just to kind of let go and let God guide your career, and where you're supposed to be is exactly where you're supposed to be. So.
Yeah, I think I remember watching Grease when it first came out, and all the teenage guys wanted to be John Travolta, and all the girls wanted to be, I forget her name now, the blondie, Olivia Newton-John.
Olivia Newton-John, yes.
Yeah, that was an awesome musical. Also, you're actively involved with SAG-AFTRA, and you've taken on a leadership role here in Houston. It's really exciting to see how you help other actors and share information and really champion what SAG-AFTRA is all about.
Yeah, I am the first vice president of the Houston-Austin local, and when I was in LA, I knew that, after I graduated from college, I wanted to become a professional actor, and to me, that meant joining SAG-AFTRA. Well, at the time, it was just SAG and AFTRA individually. We recently merged, but that was the proudest day of my career so far, really, because I joined a group of actors, a legacy of actors, if you will, that span back to the 30s, and I felt like I belonged to, we have this hashtag right now, it's the best in the biz, and I really feel that by being a SAG-AFTRA member, I am the best in the business, and there's something that you get when you hire SAG-AFTRA members, and so, in a right-to-work state like Texas is, I feel really proud that I'm able to, kind of hold the flag of what SAG-AFTRA means and what it gives you as a performer. So to me, it's awesome to do this.
Yeah, I think we met a couple years ago at the Gulf Coast Film Festival. I think you attended the tasting at Faust Distributing, which was really an awesome gathering that Faust sponsored. And then I think last year my family got to meet you at the SAG-AFTRA Awards, or the SAG Awards, I'm sorry, here in Houston, and it was really exciting to meet you there. The girls, loved the bigger than life experience of that event. But then we saw you recently on TV. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes. I was just on the Astronaut Wives Club here back in the summer. I played a Houston socialite, and that journey was amazing. Just how it all came about, but really the power that I took and to make it happen. I was doing a play here in town, The Columnist in Houston, and I hadn't done a play in like 7 years, and I was really feeling the desire to get back on the stage and to do act. And so I auditioned for this play. I got cast in it, and it was a play that was set in the '60s. I played a socialite actually, that was based on a true person, and so I had invited a producer friend of mine to come and see the play, and afterwards he told me, Mykle, you'd be great for this new show that's coming to Houston called the Astronaut Wives Club. Mm-hmm. And that just took me on an amazing journey. I was like, yeah, I'll be great for that show. And I shared it with my families, and my sister just so happened to have the book, and she doesn't really read. And so I just found all these things interesting, and I connected with the casting director of the show. And before I even knew he was casting this show, he came out, Ryan Glorioso, to do a workshop for our actors through the SAG-AFTRA Conservatory here in Houston. The SAG-AFTRA Conservatory. And 2 weeks later, he was back in Louisiana, and I found out that he was the casting director for the Astronaut Wives Club. And so it's just funny how one thing will lead to another. If you listen to your intuition, if you listen to, the universe, and just kind of follow step by step, things will come to you. But I was sharing it with like 3 people a day, my goal. That was one of the things I had to do, was to share my goal. And it's funny, when you speak something into existence, you create it. And what you believe, so the universe replies back to you. So right. I'm sounding all philosophical, but it's true. It works. And so that was an exciting thing. And then from that, I wrote an article for Backstage about the 28 things that I did to book that role in that specific show, and all the specific steps that I took. And I got so many people to respond to me and to share their dreams with me and where they were at on their journey, and thanking me for inspiring them on their journey to continue or to take a new step. And what happens is, in life, when you truly follow your dream, you allow others to do the same. Mm-hmm. And so it's kind of almost a selfish thing when you have a dream and you just keep it inside, because we're all meant to share that which is in us, that's always been in us, that we've overcome so much to accomplish. And it's by doing that you allow others to do the same. So yeah.
It's been said, we only use 10% of our brain. I don't know if that's true or not, but if that is true, we can always stretch our boundaries. And I think what you're talking about definitely does that.
Yeah.
In fact, one of my good friends, Wally Wood, one of his first jobs he ever got was covering NASA. And he didn't go to college to be a journalist, and that's one of the reasons why the publisher hired him. He said he didn't have to unteach him and unlearn him. I say, my daughter said, that's not a word, Dad. Didn't have to unlearn him bad habits. But what was interesting, and this is kind of how you talked about the universe coming full circle, is when the shuttle came back through Houston, they did a flyover, since we didn't get a shuttle here in Houston, and it flew right over his apartment, almost as if God was giving him a flyover. So it's amazing how these little journeys, throw little tidbits. But I can just imagine, when I saw your clip, and of course seeing your photos and the different looks that you have, how that era must have appeared. In fact, with the Gulf Coast Film Festival, we had Al Reinert appear and speak. He's the guy that wrote Apollo 13 and worked with Tom Hanks and all that. So you actually brought that to life when I saw that on TV. I was like, okay, that's what the era looked like, But go ahead.
Yeah, I've always been drawn to period piece films. I really think that I lived back in the 40s, or I don't know. I just identify with the way women would dress, and just the whole romanticness of the era, and just the slower pace of life. That I don't know. I guess that's as being an actress, I get to kind of live those eras and channel those different things. And I always love changing my looks. It's fun. That's what acting is all about, is to be different people and experience that which you don't, necessarily do or have every day in your normal life.
Well, I'm a big fan of yours. Then Joanna Sanchez is going to be coming to Houston. She's actually one of my clients and friends, and she's been coming to Texas from Hollywood for the last 4 or 5 years now. And we've got a major production coming up in November, and you're going to be one of the featured speakers. And the reason why we asked you to speak is because of your experience, but also because you continue just to be, a conduit for this emerging or bubbling market that we have here. Tell us a bit about, maybe what you're going to speak about, and maybe some, tips and ideas that you're going to offer to new actors as well as established and veteran actors.
Well, I'll be sharing what it's like to be, a working actor in Houston, and especially a SAG-AFTRA actor in Houston. A lot of people, think that you can't work, or it's very limiting, but I found that whatever you want to achieve in life, you'll get. And so I'm looking forward to sharing with people, experiences that I've done specifically, little goals and little tips that I do on a daily basis to create journey isn't necessarily where you live geographically. It's kind of where you live up here and what you see, for your vision. And so, it's exciting and enjoy the journey. I'll be sharing about enjoying the journey. It is a journey. And if you really, immerse yourself in the journey instead of looking at the ultimate destination, you will change your career and you'll change what things come to you. So I'll be sharing a little bit of that.
We're looking forward to it. Thank you so much for being a part of it. We're going to put this video online as a special feature. Also, the article that you referenced, is that available online?
Yes, it is. Backstage.com, and we can provide a link to where that's at. You can find that on my website.
Excellent. Yeah, we'll post the link on it as well. If someone is a producer, director, or a fellow actor, how can they get in touch with you?
They can get in touch with me instantly. No, joking. If they're a producer, they can find me. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. I'm very socially out there. My website, MykleMcCoslin.com, and at Mykle McCoslin on Twitter and Instagram. But yeah, feel free to connect with me and share your story or where you're at, and that's what it's all about.
Well, excellent. Well, thank you again for being part of this interview. It's been fun to get to know and watch your career online, because I have been watching you for several years, and I'm finally glad we're able to work on something together here, and hopefully we'll see what the future holds as well.
Thanks, Andy. I appreciate you having me.
Okay. Again, my name is Andy Valadez. I'm Chief Marketing Officer for the Entrepreneur Broadcasting Company, the Business Intelligence Network. We've had Mykle McCoslin here on the interview with Skype, and we thank you for watching.
I find this to be one of the best spots. The branches of a beautiful oak tree align the perfect shadow, not too close to the road, and the greenest of grass, healthy grass, the good kind.
Is there room for two?
I don't mean to pry, but if they haven't found a body yet, why are you doing this?
I just want to be prepared.
Mrs. Glenn, Mrs. Ted Wilkins, and this is Mrs. Frankton Longpre. We just wanted to introduce ourselves. We have such admiration watching you and your husband.
Oh, you are a favorite astronaut wife.
It's true. Thank you. We're so sorry. If you'll excuse us.
Well, where are your husbands tonight? Oh, yes, I've just remembered. They're dead.
And I feel like I'm falling, but I never